There are many things Hajj teaches you, but one of the most profound things I recall is how huge Islam really is. Every nation and every people think that they're the best. But the difference is the Ummah of Muhammad ﷺ is not the best Ummah because of its birth, because of our lineage or the blood running through your veins. It is the best Ummah because of what it does.
كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله.
You know, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about activism in the Quran, right, enjoining good and forbidding evil, He uses the present tense. And what's interesting about the present tense is that it carries the meaning of now and something which continues, which means from an Islamic perspective, being an advocate for good and being someone who works against the spirit of evil is something that happens continuously. There's no public holiday from this, there's no weekend from this. This is something we do all the time.
One of the many unfortunate consequences of the often violent secularization of Muslim thinking all over the world is that it separated Muslims' leadership role for humanity, relegating Islam to the private personal space. We may not realize it, but we have absorbed many of these narratives like a sponge. Imagine, for example, seeing an ostensibly Muslim-looking person being interviewed for television. What do you expect them to be talking about? Halal meat, madrasas, maybe terrorism? What about the NHS? Or policing? Or education? Or public spending? This is why we're very careful to break the subtle restraints placed on our communities' thinking, our discourses. To the forces that are hostile to Islam and Muslims, the real threat isn't the so-called isolationist Muslim. Rather, despite the rhetoric to the contrary, it's those confident Muslims that are fully integrated into all facets of public life, fully confident in their Islam, their duties to increase good and decrease bad, that really poses a threat to those who live off the disempowerment of all peoples. And this is what earns you hostility and attacks from some of the most jahil and ignorant quarters of society, which we are honoured at Islam 21C to counter and defend against, to provide a platform to those maligned on account of their unapologetic Muslimness, to set the record straight, to go on the offensive against the Neanderthals that trade in lies, deception and outright hostility. So alongside creating devout servants who glorify the Khaliq, we want to work hard to create confident and articulate advocates for the rights of the Khalq, who enjoin good and forbid evil wherever they are. We are in the best 10 days of the year, and every day I wanted to remind myself and whoever else wanted to take this journey with me of the importance of investing in Islam in the 21st century, giving it a discourse it truly deserves.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always perfect His light. The question is, will you be part of the solution? Invest in Islam in the 21st century.